Millions of years ago, the Earth looked completely different. Hot volcanoes erupted with lava. Savannas stretched to the horizon. And ancient predators hid in the rivers. This planet was wild and merciless. But it was in these conditions that a story began. A story that would one day lead to the rise of humankind. About 4 million years ago, on the plains of Africa, appeared the first beings we can call our ancestors. They were called Australopithecus. They still resembled apes, but they could already walk on 2 legs. This was their main advantage. Standing upright, they could see farther and notice danger earlier. Australopithecus gathered fruits and roots, drank from rivers, and hid from predators in trees. Their life was short and full of danger. Saber-toothed cats, crocodiles, and other enemies lurked everywhere. And yet, they had something that set them apart from other animals. Social bonds. They cared for one another, lived in groups, and learned to survive together. In these simple steps began the long road that would eventually lead to the rise of Homo Sapiens. About 2.5 million years ago, new beings appeared on Earth. Homo habilis, the skilled man. They were smaller and weaker than many animals, but they had something that gave them a huge advantage. Intelligence. They were the first to create simple stone tools. Rough, awkward axes and scrapers became their weapons and tools for getting food. Homo habilis learned to cut up animal carcasses, crack bones to get the marrow, and use stones to work wood. These discoveries changed their lives. Their food became more varied, and that meant new strength for survival. But the most important thing was something else. They began to act together. Groups of Homo habilis hunted, shared food, and cared for the weak. Thus began the first real form of human society, built not only on instincts, but also on cooperation. Homo habilis became the first step toward what would soon lead humanity to even greater discoveries. About 2 million years ago, a new species appeared on Earth. Homo erectus, the upright man. He was taller and stronger than his predecessors, with long legs that carried him on distant journeys. Homo erectus mastered something that changed human history forever: fire. They struck stones to create sparks and built fires to keep warm on cold nights and to scare away predators. Fire became their ally. It gave light, warmth, and the ability to cook food. Homo erectus lived in tribes, built shelters from branches and stones, and crafted more advanced stone tools and wooden spears. They hunted together, chasing prey for hours until it grew tired. Their lives saw the first rituals. Celebrating a successful hunt around the fire, passing knowledge from elders to the young. With every step forward, Homo erectus came closer to becoming truly human. His mind grew stronger, and the world around him became more and more subject to his will. After Homo erectus, new humans appeared on Earth. The Neanderthals. They were stocky and strong, with powerful muscles and broad shoulders. Their faces were harsh, with heavy brows and large noses adapted to cold air. Neanderthals lived in the harsh conditions of Ice Age Europe. They built shelters from branches and skins, hid in caves, and mastered the warmth of fire. Their weapons were stone hand axes and wooden spears tipped with sharpened stone. They hunted enormous animals, mammoths and bison, working together with incredible endurance. But it was not only hunting that united them. Neanderthals cared for the old and sick, raised children, and for the first time in human history, began to create symbols. On cave walls, they left simple drawings. In graves, they placed flowers and tools. The first evidence of spiritual life. Neanderthals were not just hunters. They were people who showed for the first time that humanity is not only strength, but also compassion. About 200,000 years ago, a new human species appeared. Homo sapiens. They had higher foreheads, more expressive eyes, and the ability to think in more complex ways than their predecessors. Homo sapiens learned to create fine stone tools and the first ornaments. They sewed hides with bone needles, built homes from mammoth bones and branches, and left traces of art on cave walls. These were the first paintings, the first symbols, the first steps toward culture and belief. They buried their dead and decorated the graves with flowers. They sang and danced by the fire, performed rituals, and learned to tell stories. Homo sapiens did not only hunt and survive. They began to dream, to create, and to search for meaning. With them, the history of humanity began in the form we know it today. For hundreds of thousands of years, the path of humankind continued. From the first steps of Australopithecus to the skilled hands of Homo habilis. From the strength of Homo erectus to the compassion of the Neanderthals. And finally to Homo sapiens, the wise human. We are the heirs of millions of years of struggle and discovery. Every stone, every fire pit, every hunt, and every ritual became steps toward our world. But this story is not yet finished. We continue on our path, and it is up to us what the next step of humanity will be.